So it's been 3 weeks since I planted my seeds. I transplanted them, and most of them are doing really, really well. I've got 5 variety lettuce that seems to be doing really well. Dill is doing well. Broccoli is actually doing quite well. Spinach, struggling a little bit, but I think it's doing okay. It seems to be doing better every day. Cilantro is doing well. Down here I've got lemon ball, lettuce, Bib lettuce. I have celery stalk, which seems to be doing okay. I've got sage, broadleaf sage, which is only sprouted a little, but it does seem to be doing okay. Up here I've got 2 varieties of cherry tomatoes. I've got a trio, and then I've got some other variety. I can't read what that is. Oh, atomic grape. And then I've got another red leaf lettuce right there. I think that's what that says. Can't quite get on my tippy toes. And then I have Johnny Jump Ups. Those are edible flowers. So that's what I've got that's doing really pretty well. I did notice that the tank had a little bit of an odor to it. The water level is maintaining, so I don't seem to have to fill it much, but it did have a little bit of an odor to it, like a, I don't know, like a algae almost. And one of the master gardeners that I was watching online said that you should add food grade hydrogen peroxide to the tank every 4 to 6 days. You should add 15 milliliters per gallon. So I just did that today, but we will see if that clears up the smell. Now, some of the things that I planted did not do very well, and it's been 3 weeks, and they say that they should at least sprout within 1 to 3 weeks. But the ones that did not, I've got here, the roots were not coming through yet, so I'm not sure if that was the issue or not, but I'm gonna discard these. I'm gonna start over and do some fresh planting. I'm going to start with some fresh seed packets. We just went to the store and got brand new seed packets for planting fresh. I'm going to try over again with oregano, parsley, rosemary, basil, baby spinach. I'm going to try that variety. Then we're going to try some flowers. I've got lavender, and then I have these variety packs. So we're going to try just for, I don't know, some color, just something for prettiness. You can't eat them. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to dump my old seeds, and what I'm going to do different this time is I'm going to soak my rock wool in water that already has the nutrients in it, and then I'm going to put the rock wool in the cups and put the cups on my trays that Brian printed me so that the roots have space to go through the cups. So I think I'm going to try that so that when they're ready to be transplanted, I don't have to disrupt the roots or anything. I could just take the cups and put them straight into the tower garden. All right, so that's 1 gallon of water, and this is my nutrients. This is nutrient A and nutrient B, and if I recall, it's 20 milliliters per gallon. So do that. Oh, it's just over a tablespoon. Okay. We'll use a tablespoon. They say you're supposed to soak those for 20 minutes. So we'll get the rock wool in here. All right, so we'll let that soak for about 20 minutes. Oh, it's running. So this is every 45 minutes, it runs for 5 minutes. So you can see it run in there. So Brian's going to print me some covers for these. on the 3D printer so that the water doesn't evaporate and the light doesn't get in there, so we have less problems with the algae. All right, I get distracted easily. Rock wool has been soaking for at least 20 minutes in my nutrient water, and I'm just going to put them in my little cups that I have labeled already. We'll try this method and see if this gets any better success than my previous method of regular water and not in the cups. I know you're not supposed to change more than one variable at a time, but I am, because I'm an impatient person. Brian was theorizing that it will, so I think it will. And I have time, and I have plenty of seeds and plenty of rock wool, so why not? Seeds, these look like beans. So I'm just going to put one green bean in there. These are not teeny tiny, but not huge, so I'm just going to put like 4 little seeds in there. These are pretty tiny, so we'll just do a couple, a little pinch in here. I don't know if you can see, but those are teeny tiny. Parsley, I don't know why, they had a couple different varieties, but that's the one that when I go to the store and buy parsley, that's what it looks like. So that's the one I'm gonna plant. Ooh, these are itty bitty, teeny tiny seeds. Oh my gosh, they look like little flecks of pepper. We have to water our, this is the nutrient water. And then I'm gonna take this and put it over by the lights before I fill up the rest of it, because it has to come up to a 1/4 inch above the cups, bottom of the cups. Now Brian thinks that I can just put the cups right into the tower and that they'll probably be okay, but I'm doubtful of that. Not quite sure I want to give that a try yet. I think I want to stick with this method for now, because I did get the majority of my plants to sprout using this method, so I think I want to stick with it for batch number 2. It turns out that I've been soaking my seedlings, or my seeds, in water, which I don't think is the right thing to do, and that might be why some of my seedlings did not sprout. I went down to my new friend Carl at the local hydroponics store. I went down and talked to him, and I bought this contraption here. This came as an all-in-one unit. It comes with a heat mat, it comes with the tray, it comes with the dome. Did not come with a light, because I think this might be the better method. So let's unbox this bad boy here and just see what we have. So it comes with this, but I'm using rock wool, and those don't fit in here. So we're just going to set that aside. Comes with the mat. This is a seedling heat mat. Then we have our dome cover here. It's got a little vent here. And sides. Oh, there's sides of the... Oh, that's what those little ones are for over here. Okay. Once the plants are several inches tall, transplant and watch them grow. Well, it sounds easy, but I am not a gardener. I feel completely out of my element here, so I'm gonna try, but they try to make it idiot-proof. I'm really not an idiot. I'm a highly educated person. But when it comes to gardening, not so much. I mean, maybe I'll do like a halfway open and see how much moisture escapes. I don't know, it doesn't say how much open you're supposed to leave them. So here's my seeds I did the other day that I have sitting in water, which is not what I want. Oh, and I found out that we cannot get strawberry seeds locally. We can order strawberry starts. They don't come in until the first week of May. So I'm going to set my strawberry rock wool that I had set aside. We were planning to find strawberry seeds locally. We can't. I'm winging it. I'm just winging it. I'm just going to put my little cups in here. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, then I guess this goes on here. Like that. Doesn't really snap, it just sets. I don't know what I'm doing. I think when that pad gets warmer, it'll flatten out. This is what I have for now. That's my setup. And then my plan is that I'm going to mount the light up here because it's supposed to be roughly, well, at least the guy at the store told me about 12 inches above, so it'll be mounted right up here once they sprout, but they don't need that extra light right now. So I think this is my new plan. We'll see how it works.
Kind of a snowy day outside. Adam Sandler movie. Got a fire going. Rebecca's taking a nap. I got something going on here I've been putting off for quite a while, and I think today is the day to finally do it. We got a saying that every guy in the world is the best driver, shooter, and lover, and he's lying about all three. I've been bow hunting for a long time, many, many years, and I won't say I'm a good bow hunter. I'm a good bow walker. Hunt a lot, don't bring home a lot of animals. You know, you get one here and there, but I'm certainly not a trophy hunter. I'm not a multi heads on the wall kind of guy. You get a week to drive 24 hours, acclimate to the area that you're hunting in, try and find the animals and bring something home, and it just doesn't always happen. So when we moved to Idaho, I went bow hunting and immediately realized it was rifle country. It's what I called false summits. You climb to the top of a mountain and it doesn't go anywhere. So there's no ridge line. It just drops off the other side. And I guess there's a time and a place for everything, and a lot of that country was rifle country. So while I've had rifles my whole life and pretended I knew how to shoot, I didn't know how to shoot. So I went on a quest to learn how to shoot, and now I can shoot. So I don't believe there is any single thing you can do for the ballistics of your rifle better than a suppressor. And these are legal in Alaska, so I'm not promoting anything illegal, nefarious in any way. This is a company that's online. The issue is that my rifles are not threaded for a suppressor, and I have to disassemble them in order to ship them off and have the barrels threaded. And maybe I could have it done by somebody locally, but the company that sells these suppressors do thousands of them. And I think I got a better chance of having it done correctly by shipping it to them. So they send you a box. I've cut it open. I haven't opened it yet. So this will be like the big reveal, you know. Important customer information. Haven't read that yet. They send you a box so that you can disassemble your barrels and ship them to them. They'll thread them and ship them right back to you. And there's a couple of cases that it comes with. Of course, it comes for a fee. You're going to pay a fee no matter where you go to get it done. So to me, this was the best option. What I need to do is disassemble my rifles, and that's why it's painful, because they're set up, and they're set up correctly, and they shoot, and I hate to take them apart. This suppressor, of course, comes with a stamp, federal tax stamp. Boop, there we go. So it's all legal. It took me a year to get the suppressor. One of the things I contemplated is, because that suppressor is going to add about 8 inches to the rifle, is that maybe I would have the barrel cut down. And I haven't done the ballistics on this is a 243. I haven't done the ballistics on that. But for my 7 mag, it drops about 100 feet per second per inch that you cut off the barrel. So if I cut off 4 inches off the barrel, I'm going to lose velocity, basically. All right, so yeah, it's a 51 inch. 51 inches if I don't cut the barrel down. So the question becomes, do I cut the barrel down? With every inch, you lose maybe 50 feet per second, right? So I cut 4 inches off, I lose 200 feet per second. But I also not carrying around a 51 inch rifle. Anyhow, let's get to taking this apart. I've never taken these apart, so we're gonna learn together. I've watched other people online do it. This is just weed whacker cord that we run through the barrel, and it shows that the barrels are empty. And we do that with handgun courses so that you can look down the line and see everybody's is clean. I don't clean my rifle. I know, sacrilege, right? I don't clean my rifle. There's a lot of things I learned when I learned how to shoot, and that's one of the things I determined on my own. So you do what you want to do. As I tell Rebecca all the time, you can do it wrong if you want, but I don't clean my rifle, at least not my barrel. You know, if you're interested in that, I'm happy to chat online or something, but I'm not going to get into all that. This is a 243, but it's a long action 243 because it was built on a 30-06 frame. Just because that's what I found, that's what I had available to me. It has been accurized. Through a stroke of luck, I stumbled onto a guy at church who everyone said was the gunsmith. So I went over and saw his shop, and it was legit. This guy knew what he was doing. He convinced me. He said, you know, Remington 700 is a better rifle to be accurizing. It's a lot easier to work on. There were just a lot of reasons that the Remington 700 was a better platform. So I bought a couple of Remington 700s. Had to look for them for a while, and then my buddy Ray went to town on these and dialed them in, and there's a lot to it. You know, I always wondered what it means when someone says, I've got a custom rifle. Even the 7 mag I spent good money for. It's not just an off-the-shelf kind of a, you know, basement version. And even that, anything that comes off an assembly line, you got to disassemble and accurize it, make it shoot properly. So let's disassemble this. We can go into all that. I don't know how interested you guys are in that kind of stuff. So there it comes. There's the bolt. This is where one of them fancy rifle holding pieces of equipment might be handy. That came off pretty good. This guy, see here, because we had to grind that surface right there for the scope to fit. That dude right there doesn't want to come out. Let me get my little magnifying thing and take a look at that and see what I'm dealing with. Oh, now look at that's an Allen. These are stars. This is Allen. That's why it's not working. Oh, we got it. You've got to remove all these accessories from your rifle, or they'll charge you to do it. Okay, crisis averted. So we got those off. Got the scope. I could put those right back on the scope. Maybe put a piece of tape on here to keep those screws from falling out. Just going to put it back on here loosely. It's not where it belongs. It's just... Maybe I'll get me a new scope when the barrel comes back. So this, if you look, you'll see that this stock moves. You see that? Because this barrel floats. It's not touching. This is not touching this. It floats the whole way. These are also still the stock triggers. So maybe if Rebecca's not looking, I can order me a Timney trigger for it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it worth the extra $200 for a Timney trigger? All right, there's that plate comes out. So I put my screws back in where they come out of. So see the polishing that's been done? The polishing that's been done in the stock there. And the way that this right here is what the barrel rests onto the stock. So that's all been fine-tuned so that it fits in there. Oh, it's actually an epoxy that's been put in there and polished. So it's just the perfect fit. So this is the part where they said you need to have a fancy block to hold this while you punch some pins out of here to release the trigger. And so when you put this and you hit it with the hammer to push those pins through, you want that to be not wobbling around. It needs to be sitting on something stable. And I've got a punch, but it's looking like my punch is the wrong size. It looks to me like they need to push through that way because this one is a bigger diameter. Well, this is why they have fancy things for a couple $100 to hold this. You'd hold it best by that block right there. A round thing for it to sit in with a cradle for that block. Somehow it would hold this other side. What if you made a little, thing that stuck up like that, and this went into it like that. It went in like that, and it had a hole in it that you could put through that, and that would hold it. Might be a fun little project to do. I'm probably overthinking it, because I do that a lot. I overthink things. Yeah, do you think? All right, I'm back. I had to step away for a little bit, take care of a few other things. So it's the next day, and I got to drive those punches out. I did go and get some punches. Of course, the size I need only came in a kit of, 8 other punches. So someday I'll use the rest of them, but for now I just need this here 3/32 punch. I did try using the end of a broken drill bit, and all it was doing is putting marks in the end of the punch, and I don't want it to mushroom it out and then it won't go through the hole, right? One thing I learned is that these pins right here, this is what I'm trying to drive out. So you got to get the right size punch, and you put that right on there, and you drive that pin through. Except if you see that little dot right there, that's been peened. So that means they took the metal and they actually deformed it to hold the pin in there. Well, I'm trying to drive the pin out, so it may take a little more effort than I had originally planned. The other thing is I needed to find something to support it, and I looked around, went around the house with my calipers, and I found this piece of sample siding that seemed to be pretty close to the right dimensions. It'll support that while I drive those pins out. So that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to drive these pins out. And I'm going to start with this one back here. So here we go. See if it drives it out of the hole. Well, that works a lot better than the broken drill bit for sure. Okay, so as that pushes out, you can see that it makes this pin come out this side here. And then if you see, there's this spring and this lever here, and this is the bolt stop. So all those are going to be affected when I pull this trigger out. And set that guy aside right there. Look at how these are all in there, so I can replace them properly when I go to put it back together. That was up in the groove there. You might think, oh, I'm sure this information is available online. However, the information about it being peened was not online. So let's snap some pictures while we're here so we know how that goes back together. Just like that. Yeah, it definitely drives out easier with the correct tool. I think they have to separate the barrel and the action, and I'm a little concerned about that because these are lined up just correctly to give me the right amount of headspace on my bullet. So if they screw this back in and they screw it a little tighter or a little looser than it is currently, it won't have the correct headspace. I don't know, there's something about having someone I don't know work on my gun. Even though I take it apart and find a mystery spring, I'll figure out where it goes back, you know. But I guess sometimes you just got to let the experts do what they do. I'll take the other one apart. Here's my bolt. Here's my casing. I put tape on the bolts so you know where the bolts go. Kind of tape this stuff back together so you kind of know where the things are supposed to go. There we are, 243. You know, maybe it's a little morbid. I don't know. But to me, I never know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. And the thought of my friends inheriting this, and it just looks like junk to them. And it's not junk. And so leaving a story behind of, hey, these parts go with that, right? Makes more sense than here's a box with a bunch of parts. Nobody knows what they do. So I try to always keep that in mind. I've cleaned out a couple of uncles' homes that were a bit on the hoarder side, and there was just stuff. And so I try to keep things very organized in the event something should ever happen to me. I know that garage doesn't look like it, but it is more organized than it seems. So we're going to set this aside, and we'll take the other rifle apart. All right, well, this is the one that's painful. Seriously painful to disassemble. But a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do, so. I'm having a moment. I studied for a long time. I studied and I practiced and I learned and I hate to take it apart, but got to do it. So here we go. Hey, a use for a 13 millimeter wrench. Never seen one before. This is a special scope. If you know, you know. And if you think you know, well, this is made by Tasco. Yeah. Or it was made by Tasco. Then they quit making it. Somebody else picked it up. But this is a Super Sniper. Fixed power. 10 times scope. 10 by 42 fixed. This is repeatable. Inexpensive. Repeatable. This is an excellent, excellent scope. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, well, I can't do anything about that. So in my quest to learn how to shoot, I found this guy. Fantastic dude. Really enjoyed him because I didn't have to choke on his ego to get information out of him. And you know, in the survival stuff we did shooting, but nothing like this. This guy was pretty good. Good dude. And went to that class. You know, everyone shoots their rifle for a different reason. I got a reason for wanting to shoot this rifle. And I don't want to hit a milk jug, and I don't want to poke a hole in a piece of paper. I want my bullet to do something when it gets there. Have a certain budget, so you don't want to shoot, you know, some kind of a 416 Shy-Tech, or I don't know what the number is, but, you know, some exotic round that $5 a piece. This is just a Remington 700 7 mag, and the same thing. It's going to come right out of its shell, just like the other one did. And you'll find the same thing. This has all been bedded. Got all my ballistics on it, right? Temperature, elevation, Bullet temperature is huge. Bullet temperature is huge. Is that how you say it? It's huge. If your rifle's, you know, in the scabbard and your bullets are sitting on the dash by the heater, or they're in your pocket and the bullets are a different temperature than your rifle, that's problems. You shoot in the morning, you got a certain velocity in the morning when it's cool, and then the temperature changes, 10, 20 degrees, the velocity is going to change and your dope is going to change. Dope, not Humboldt County dope. I mean dope on your scope, These are not bad triggers. The stock ones are not bad, but they're not, custom adjustable. Although, Eddie Lawson raced motorcycles in the late 80s. And they asked him one time about this new suspension that Honda had. What do you think of the Honda's new suspension that's got 100 different adjustments? And he said, well, that means there's one right one and 99 wrong ones. So an adjustable trigger is, you adjust it to the point that that's what you want, and then you don't move it again. So this bolt release right here, you know what I feel? I feel a little bit of grit and dirt, like this thing was out getting used in the desert. All right, we're going to pull that out of there. All right, so that, all right, goes in there. This is going in there, like that. Now when I pull this pin out, I'll take that guy, that should come right out of there, and then we'll see that spring. This rifle, they are not peened like the other one. Put that in another bag. So this Picatinny rail here, it's got a slope to it, and it's kind of sloping down, if you would. That's intentional, because if you've got your round scope and you've got your crosshairs in the middle of it, and then you set that at 0, and then you want to shoot farther away, as you raise your scope, you would use those lower half of the scope to make adjustments. Same thing if you're turning your turret, you got from the middle down to adjust up. Well, I don't want to shoot closer, I don't want to adjust down, right? So if you set your scope down already and center it, you're kind of putting your center towards the top end of your adjustment range. And now as you shoot longer distance, you've got more adjustment in your scope. By fixing your scope down to begin with, it gives you more adjustment for long range. I hope they can just chuck it in there without taking the barrel off, but I think they got to take the barrel off the action, and I'm just scared that they're gonna mess it up. I mean, they do thousands of these. That's why I chose to go there instead of going to a local gunsmith, but do I put a little mark on there? Maybe I'll do that. Just put a little mark on there with some paint so I know if it's backed in the right spot. A little scratch, maybe? That might be. All right, I'm back. Got my fancy scratcher tool. Look at that. It's even custom, even written. So yeah, see, it's a custom scribe. So I'm going to put a little mark on here. So if they untwist these, when they twist it back, it needs to go right back to the correct spot. I don't know if that's offensive to ask that of them, that they would be precise when doing something like a rifle. That looks beautiful to me. You want to see what I did here? I don't know if you can see that right there. Make sure it's in focus so you can see what's going on there. Makes a guy feel a little bit vulnerable, having both his rifles disassembled at the same time. Oh yeah, beautiful. I just feel better about that. I don't know if I have to pay extra to have it done right. I don't think so. There company name. It's got my return address, so that's all done. It's an extra fee for them to take it apart. So yeah, they're just some inexpensive rifle cases here. So what do you guys think, and do you have an opinion? Should I cut the barrel down, pay to have it cut and crowned? Cut and crowned, so crowning is the end of your barrel right here, and the shape of that end of that barrel. You don't want to mess that up. As those gases come out of the barrel, if they're not uniform, completely uniform in a concentric circle, if there's a little nick and that concentricity, you know, the gases escape a little different on one side, that'll cause your bullet to wobble as it comes out. So that's why a suppressor is so, you can't do any single one thing for accuracy better than a suppressor, is that all of those gases are dissipated before your bullet exits. And so there's nothing causing a tailwind or pushing it one way or the other as it comes out. Plus, it's cool and it's quiet. So long range with a suppressor could be a good thing, maybe, depending on how many holes in a piece of paper you want to make. If you want to sneak up on that piece of paper or not. Like, why would you not make the box? Why would you not make the box fit the case? How's it going to happen if I was sending my whole rifle? I mean, I can fold this up, right? I can fold the end over because I'm just sending the barrel. But what if I was sending the whole rifle and it didn't fit in the box? Again, there was a board meeting somewhere. They said, let's send them a box. It won't fit, but we'll send them a box. So that's it. It's boxed up, ready to go. You go online, you pay for the services that you want. You know, in this case, I just wanted the barrels threaded, but you can play to have it cut and crowned. You can take the sights off, check threads and alignment. Check threads and alignment is what I anticipate they're going to do without me having to pay extra. If you're going to take it apart, you should put it back together the way it came up apart. Well, I figure if you're looking to shoot, probably enough said for this channel. Yes, I have just boxed up my barrels in an attempt to send them off to you guys. But I was looking at your website one more time, and it says there's an option to have check threads and alignment. Can you tell me what that is?
Someone already has their gun threaded and has a suppressor on it, and they just want to make sure that everything is mounted correctly and concentristic, basically everything's centered. Then that's why you would send in for that particular service.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate your help.
All right. No problem. All right. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Well, that answers that. The option for check threads and alignment is if you already have a barrel that's threaded and you want to send it in and have it checked. But when they disassemble my rifle and thread the barrel and put it back together, they're going to put it back together correctly, and I don't have to pay extra to have it done correctly. Thank you for watching my crazy antics. Hopefully we get this back, get it dialed in, and we can take it out and shoot it a little bit. I'm probably going to have to go all through my ballistics again and get everything set. But for now, we're sending them off in the mail. Thanks for watching.